And here we are reviewing a 20-year-old movie like a midnight screening.
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen it.
It's not even midnight.
It's so not midnight, it's 9. It is weird being outside your house and not in your house watching Reservoir Dogs.
It's a difference. It's a difference.
Going to the theater to see, it still ends at your house. I like that. For those of you who don't know, as in all of you.
Yes.
Hey, this was our high school, man. This was our high school and junior high, watching Tarantino movies over at Dave's place. It's where we're at right now. I mean, we didn't plan on just driving over to Dave's and review the movie in the car. We're gonna do it in the theater, in the parking lot at the theater, but Dave really needed a cigarette watching Reservoir Dogs. I can't imagine why.
It's the movie that made me want to chain smoke.
Yeah.
And now I do.
Mm-hmm.
Although I wish I had
You light your cigarette better than Keitel does.
I wish I had picked up that habit where I just put it in my mouth, looked at the lighter, went, no.
You know
put
what?
it away.
You know what? I don't think I need a cigarette right now. I changed my mind. Please, Mr. Pink, continue.
And then a minute later, he lights one up.
Yeah, he lights one up again. I think that's one way to fix continuity, you know? If you don't light it, you don't have to worry about the cigarette changing. Why didn't we think of that? That's all over our movies. You know, if none of our characters just smoked.
Well, in our early movies, when none of us smoked, we would take Bic pens and cut them in half.
Oh,
remember?
God, yeah, when we were freshmen.
Yeah.
There's a scene in
Making
Midnight
our first
Heat.
movies, yeah.
There's a scene.
Fucking pen in half.
There's a scene in Midnight Heat between Jake and Alex, where Alex is smoking a cigarette. And to be fair, it isn't like it's long and then short and then long again and then short. No, it's not. It's just that it's maybe a minute-long scene and it goes down very fast. Like 30 seconds. They're like 30 seconds later, it's a butt. Oh, sorry if that bugs with the focus any.
That was my fault.
But anyway, so yeah, Reservoir Dogs is it's your favorite movie of all time.
It is.
And I love it. Yeah, of course I love Reservoir Dogs.
You know, and it's one of those things that I don't think it's Tarantino's best movie. I don't think it's the best movie ever made. It's just my favorite.
Yeah, that's. I think everyone knows the difference between that.
It's just that movie that over the past 15 years since I first seen it, I've been able to watch it over and over and over and never be bored with it.
Yeah. And this was your first time seeing it in the theater.
It was, and I've been looking forward to it since they announced they were going to do this 20th anniversary screening. And
roll down that window a bit more to get the smoke out.
Sorry about the smoke.
That's fine. In fact, I'm going to take off some of the lenses here. Sorry. There we go. It's like we're talking about Katy Perry again.
Yes.
Shit, that's not even...
For the outtakes. Nothing.
Yeah, for the outtakes. The blooper reel of us sitting in a car talking about a movie. Actually, we did do that with Chernobyl Diaries when Leah couldn't figure out how to turn on the camera.
That's right.
So why would you consider this to be like your favorite movie?
It's just, you know, honestly, when the first time I saw it, I didn't see it till after Pulp Fiction. And I liked Pulp Fiction a lot. Because this movie came out when I was 9. Like, even
20 years, man.
Yeah,
it's hard to fucking...
Yeah, even if I had seen it in the theaters when it first came out, I wouldn't have fucking understood it.
I don't think I can. I'm positive. If it came here to Springfield, it went to the Fox.
Yeah.
The Fox Theater was a theater. They would not have the Fox Theater anymore, but it was a theater here in Springfield that showed indie flicks. Quite a bit. Like, it was... There was only, like, 2 screens, and it was, like... that was like all they showed was like lower budgeted independent movies. They got rid of that years
something
ago.
Really weird like Cool Runnings.
Yeah. I remember one time it showed Life Stinks with Mel Brooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I guess none of the other theaters wanted it.
No, I mean even Buford will still tells the story of how I knew Reservoir Dogs was going to be my favorite movie before I ever saw it. And it's kind of true, but No, before I even saw it, I loved Pulp Fiction when I finally got to see that and was old enough to kind of understand it. And by that time, I was, we were hanging out a lot more than we had for the past couple of years. And as a group, we were really getting into movies. And I kind of heard about this movie, and I was thinking about the cast, and I'm like, oh, Tim Roth.
Yeah. Buscemi, Keitel, Madsen, all those guys.
All those guys in it, and Tarantino writing and directing it, and it's a bank heist movie without the bank heist, and it just sounded great to me.
Yeah.
And just as a visual person, I just love the idea of all those dudes in matching suits, too. I mean, that sounds really childish now, but, like, really, that was part of it, because I'm the art school kid in the group, and just that idea of the uniform thing kind of just captured my imagination a little bit, and as did the names, and when I finally saw it, I just fucking loved it.
Yeah, I saw it probably around when you... Pulp Fiction I saw. I didn't see Pulp Fiction in the theater. Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs are Tarantino's two movies I didn't see in the theater. Pulp Fiction I saw when it was a new release, like when it just hit the shelves. Like it was a new release. And me and my dad rented it. And like what you just said, I loved Pulp Fiction, and then shortly thereafter that, watched Reservoir Dogs, and I haven't it's my first time seeing the movie in the theater too, and it's probably been it's been a while since I've watched Reservoir Dogs.
As weird as it sounds, saying it's my favorite movie and I can watch it over and over again, I don't think I've watched it in like 3 years.
I would say at the least it's been 3 years. I can't remember the last time I saw Reservoir Dogs.
How many fucking copies of it do I have?
I was just going to say, no joke, it's his favorite movie. He's got every form of media of the movie. I mean, I know I'm not one to talk because I've got Caligula on like a Cartravision. So like,
I've got every release of Reservoir Dogs and the soundtrack.
Yeah. Remember how pissed you were when the 2 discs of Reservoir Dogs came out and you had to buy each individual one because they had the different character...
Yeah, the different sleeves.
The different sleeves with the different characters on it. And you were like so big, like, God fucking damn it. And we would joke, we would be like, dude, what if it goes over so well that they start doing it with like just random other characters?
The waitress.
The waitress that it doesn't show. The waitress that doesn't show. Like the chick that like Steve Buscemi pulls out the window of the car. The chick that shoots Tim Roth.
And I was pissed because you brought that up and you're like, what would you do? And I'm like,
I would have to fucking buy it. It's what I would have to fucking do.
Yeah, well, I have 7 copies on DVD.
Yeah.
I have Blu-ray. I have 2 versions on VHS. I have the fucking Laserdisc.
Yeah,
I don't even have a Laserdisc player.
You come over to my place. We'll watch the Laserdisc of that. We'll put in Living Daylights afterwards.
Honestly,
I got that.
The only U.S. release of it I don't have is the new Tarantino box set.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I'm gonna buy it anyways.
I got it on VHS. I got the DVD of it, but it was so funny because like it did like if you had all 5, I think there were 5, like 5 of the 2-disc DVDs that they put out with each individual sleeves. I mean, it did look kind of cool when you had them in your shelf when it was just like the spine of them sticking out because there would be the little picture of like the character walking, and when you had them together, it looked like they were all like we used to fuck with Dave. We used to take because he also had the bare bones of it that they put out before that special edition.
The original, yeah.
Yeah, the first DVD that just had like just like a trailer and like that was it. But we would fuck with them and stick that like right in the middle of like his collection of those. The hell is that doing in the middle? That doesn't look great. That goes here. Oh, sorry, I don't know who put that there. It's really that's a really weird thing for you to do, man.
Oh, dude.
But so I haven't seen the movie in 3, 4, 5 years, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's
been 5 years for me, but it's been good.
Well, I mean, it's one of those movies that for us anyway, who.
I know it by heart. I don't need to fucking watch it. I know it by heart.
We grew up in the generation that watched Reservoir Dogs and movies like this on repeat. So yeah, I can sit here and say that like, okay, I haven't seen it in about 4 years, but I've seen it like 100 fucking times.
Exactly.
I know the fucking movie by heart. Same with Pulp Fiction. But like watching it on the theater that's cool because like I was
grinning like a maniac the entire time.
You know, that's the thing is every time I watch Reservoir Dogs, I mean, maybe not when I was younger because we were watching it like every fucking weekend back then. But like now that I'm older and I see the movie, maybe once every couple of years, I do always forget I mean, I always remember that it is a funny movie. It is a funny movie, but I always forget how funny.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
It's a hilarious film, and the jokes in it that I remember. I remember the dialogue, and I know everything. I know everything that does make me laugh, but it's written so well that I sit there, in the case of here, in the theater, and I laugh at it as if it's my first time hearing it. Even though I know what's coming, I know the jokes that are coming, I know the dialogue that's coming, I know, the "you're under arrest, sugar," and like, so was he all pissed off? Aunt Frances is white. And, stuff like that. I know all that by heart, but it's delivered so well, it's written so well. The context of it is so good that you laugh at it. The characters are so believable and charismatic, and you laugh at it as if it is your first time hearing that, even though you've seen the movie hundreds and hundreds of times. I don't know a lot of just straightforward comedies that are great comedies that have that similar effect on me.
And honestly, there aren't many to me as like straight comedies that I can watch over and over and over. Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
I never get sick of Raising Arizona.
I don't get sick of Raising Arizona. The Great Race I've seen a million times. I never get sick of that.
But Raising Arizona is not a joke movie. It's a fucking physical comedy movie. It's slapstick. It's a Warner Brothers cartoon. And that's the kind of comedy that I think I can watch over and over again. But if it's a comedy where they're like telling jokes and shit, once or twice, and that's good enough for me. I don't own a lot of comedies.
But like
some that I love,
Chatterbox, the classics.
Screwballs. I mean,
that is a classic. I was kidding about Chatterbox. Screwballs is awesome. I could watch Screwballs any fucking time. Just give me a glass of milk, a thing of cookie dough, a spoon.
I watch Screwballs constantly.
It's a great fucking movie.
That's the best thing I've ever bought at a con. Was
Screwballs?
Just walking through a con, I look at the one table, and the best thing about the cons that we frequent is nobody has fucking Blu-rays at these things. It's always like knockoff DVDs, big box VHS, stuff like that. There's usually like one table that'll have Blu-rays, and they'll have like 3.
I love the tables that like aren't even for like DVDs or VHSs, but will still have a big box VHS or something.
Yeah.
I was at a table that was selling jewelry once.
But they had a big box.
They had I looked over the thing, it was a big box of the Grim Reaper. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, how much you want for this? And he's like, like $5. I'm like, sold.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, and I'll take that mood ring.
Screwballs, I'm walking past and I look down, I'm like, oh, somebody has a copy of Screwballs. It's on Blu-ray!
Yeah.
I'm like, how much do you want for this, sir? And he's like, well, it's like 25, and I'm like, yeah, here.
Well, it goes towards like the comedy aspect. The humor of the movie is really part of just the characterization of the film. It's part of these people's personality. You're right. I mean, like, it isn't like, they're sitting there and they're just telling jokes because it's a comedy and because, you have to fill your joke quote or whatever. It's part of what defines these characters. What they're talking about is something that character would actually be saying. It's a story that character actually would be saying.
Or just the inflection of how they say a word or do something.
Or the looks on their faces. The looks on their faces, and even like real little things that you especially notice, when you're watching it like on the big screen for the first time, like the whole like Anne Frances's white thing, which like starts cracking the shit out of Steve Buscemi. That's delivered so well and so subtly that you look at that and you're like, that really looks like the first time that those two people have actually bonded. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And Tarantino's like, that's one of those things I've always liked about Tarantino.
Yeah.
He does come up with great stories, and he does. He's a great director. In watching this again recently, and I watched Inglourious Basterds last night. He's a much better director now.
Well, I mean, you can say that about anyone.
But he's a much better director now, and he has a better sense of timing and better sense of how to use music and things like that. But that's one thing he's always been able to accomplish is he lets characters have a history, but doesn't feel the need to tell you the history. And I think that works.
And when a character doesn't, in the case of Reservoir Dogs, it's because the other characters don't know either. Like with Mr. Blue, they don't. Why would we know his backstory? They don't know his backstory.
Exactly. But a lot of writers and directors would make the mistake of giving you Mr. Blue's fucking life story in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When it doesn't really matter. And you don't need to know what any of those guys really did, for the most part, before that heist, except for the little bits that you're given.
Yeah.
And they're not bits about the character's history. Like, those little flashback parts, they're really like, you set up Lawrence Tierney and Harvey Keitel's friendship.
Yeah.
And you set up Mr. Blonde and Nice Guy Eddie. You're setting up that sense of like that relationship, not the whole history of the character.
And it's suspenseful too. It's suspenseful in its dialogue. Because like, I mean, everyone knows this is a movie.
If the movie's 20 years old, and if you're worried about spoilers, sorry.
Everyone knows this, but like, it's a heist movie, like you said earlier, that doesn't show the heist, but it's still it has parts that are really genuinely suspenseful.
Yeah.
That, like, it's actually more intense than if it did show the heist. Like, for instance, like, you know, Tim Roth is telling that story about having drugs and going into the bathroom. It's a story that didn't happen. He's acting. It's
a fake story.
It's a fake story, but it is kind of suspenseful because it's directed so well. It's actually sort of showing it as if it did happen, even though it really didn't.
And he's still telling the Yeah,
I
love that. That's probably my favorite sequence in the entire movie.
Yeah, it's a great fucking sequence.
I mean, but like I said a minute ago, you know Tarantino's a better actor now because Tarantino now wouldn't shoot that scene on top of a rooftop for no fucking reason. And like,
I like that though. I mean,
I like it too, but he
takes you back to it takes you back to 90s indie filmmaking. We had to shoot it on the roof for some reason.
No, it's because they had nowhere else to shoot it.
They had nowhere else to fucking shoot it, man.
And it's just
we gotta fucking shoot this on the roof.
And I'm sure, you know, like, Tim Ross, commanding officer / mentor character, wouldn't be dressed like one of the fucking warriors. I mean,
but that works. It works. You know, you do the kinds of movies that you can do. You do the kinds of movies that, like at that time, 1991, when he made it, released in 92. You do what you have the means to make. You know,
absolutely.
you do.
And
what,
it is a low budget movie.
Yeah, it is a very low budget movie. You do, you know. Yeah, you might have that dream project in mind. You might have, like, I mean, I don't know if this was Tarantino's case, but I'm just saying, like, in general, you know, you have that, you know, a lot of people who want to write, they want to pick up a camera, they want to direct, and they have that dream project in mind, but, you know, hey, I don't have $300 million to make this, like, post-apocalyptic thing or whatever, so don't do that right now. Don't fucking do that right now. You wait and you make something that, yeah, you still have a lot of passion for, that you still really love and you still want to be great, but you know, you have the means to actually make that. So you make it, and you make it the best that you can.
Well, and that was the best part of that whole independent thing that happened there in the early 90s that you and I got to actually watch, and is obviously an influence on the movies that we've made over the years.
Yeah. As
a group, it's just, you know, Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs. He wrote it. He wanted to make it.
Yeah.
He worked to get the means to make that. Kevin Smith. Like, no matter what Kevin Smith does in life, whether you like Kevin Smith or not, Clerks is a fucking accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he put himself in debt on the chance of making a movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I want to do it. So he did it. And then guys like Linklater and those guys, they just made movies that they had the means to make, and that's
what made me want to start making movies. Like,
well,
hey, you know, we could pick up a camera and just kind of shoot this shit. It might not be good, but at least it gives us drive.
No, that's literally what happened. I think
that's exactly
we
what
were watching those
happened.
movies, and you're like, looked over and like, we have camera.
We got a fucking camera. Let's do this shit. And look at us now.
Still defined as shit.
We're talking about it in the back seat of a car.
Well, at least you make a living doing this shit now.
Yeah. I mean, like, but like, yeah, that's exactly. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I'll probably talk about this again in the Pulp Fiction. We're going to see Pulp Fiction in a couple of days, but I think I'll get into it more in the Pulp Fiction one. But I mean, we did grow up at that time, in that generation, that these movies were insanely influential to. I mean, it's kind of a cliched thing to say now, but I mean, but it's also true. It's accurate.
It was the first time that us, you know, we're from a small town. We're basically suburban kids.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up in the city. We didn't have access to art house theaters and shit like that. But because of the time, we had access to these movies.
Yeah.
Which
it was a video store town.
Exactly,
it was.
But it still is.
Not as much as it used to be, but.
But I mean, imagine if it wasn't the early '90s. If we grew up in, you know, recently, if like right now, we'd never found half the shit.
No, we wouldn't have. The problem, no, we wouldn't have, because yeah, there is a lot more stuff that's certainly available now. You can go on your Netflix and scroll through and find whatever the fuck you want. You can go online.
But you're not going to know if it's good. There's not going to be that level of hype to it.
That's exactly it. When I was younger, I mean, we're both roughly the same age. When we were growing up, and the weird kind of offbeat shit that we saw. It's because we're watching TV really late at night, and that's just what was fucking on.
No, like we're 13 years old. It's Brad's birthday. We're not going to sleep, and suddenly Pumpkinhead comes on. It's just like,
yeah.
Well, let's watch this.
All right, let's fucking. I guess we're watching Pumpkinhead tonight.
And then Pumpkinhead led to Halloween, and then Halloween led to Dawn of the Dead, and and that's just kind of the way things worked for us. And I think.
It was definitely the case.
I don't know about you, but like even in my 2D art, I owe a lot to the movies we watched, and that's an influence on me. And Tarantino was a huge part of that, especially Reservoir Dogs, because I mean it's not a black and white movie, but it's a very stark movie.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know if any of you care or have looked at my artwork that's online, but I like black and white. I like doing that stark, rough thing, and Tarantino was definitely an influence.
He did the Stone Gremlin logo at the beginning of all of our movies.
Fuck you!
He didn't. That was me on Microsoft Paint.
And he's been giving me credit for years, and I fucking hate you for it. For 10 years, I've had a logo sitting in a file folder. Hey, Brad, you can use this. That's okay, I'll use the one from the last movie. Please don't. And then he just does.
Awesome.
I finally got to put it on the back of the last DVD.
Yeah.
Really small.
There is, I don't know what it is. There's something about that old shitty logo
that just makes you laugh, because every time I see it, I get angry.
And also, I know it's cheap. I know it's shitty, but I don't know. I like the fact that, it kind of shows me how some of our movies have changed from Freak Out to, Hooker, which was the last one that logo was on.
Yeah.
So to me, it is kind of funny that they both have having that same shitty logo at the front of it. I kind of like it. I did do it in MS Paint. I was proud of that fucking thing at the time too. There was a lot of things I did back then I was proud of at the time.
Okay, Dave, look at this, and I'm like, I could have just drawn it, man. You're no, this is it.
Isn't this great?
All right, Brad. Sure, dude.
This is fantastic.
The movie's already edited. I'm not going to argue
it. The movie's already edited.
I'm not going to argue it. Fuck it, it's done. Let's move on to the next one. Let's make cheap. I want to be an evil motherfucker.
Yeah. But in terms of, I'll probably get into a lot of that on when we talk about Pulp Fiction.
When we talk about Pulp Fiction, you'll find out that for years and years and years before the exploitation thing happened with us, Brad's favorite movie was Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. For a good solid decade, I'd almost say.
And before Pulp Fiction, my favorite movie was Halloween. So yeah. I guess my favorite movie changes every 15 years.
I think my favorite movie before Reservoir Dogs was probably The Goonies or something.
Nice.
Maybe Ghostbusters 2.
What? Man, I used to think Ghostbusters 2 was the shit, but I just saw this movie called Reservoir Dogs. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
There's no baby Oscar in it. Imagine Ghostbusters 2 without the annoying fucking baby. Bam, you got Reservoir Dogs. It's so much better.
Only they say fuck a lot more.
They say fuck a hell of a lot more. But they do smoke every bit as much as they smoked in Ghostbusters 1.
It's true.
We had a baby in this sequel. We can't smoke in this. But so I don't know how many of you out there went to go see it. It is kind of funny because it's sort of like, well, if you didn't see it,
it showed once.
It's a one-time showing. So I don't know. Maybe this will be kind of a thing, because we didn't go into this expecting hey, we're gonna sit here and review the movie. We're gonna sit here and we're just gonna reminisce about it and talk and talk, kind of shoot the shit and stuff like that. If this goes over well, and something else, this Fathom screening thing that they do, which they've done it before. They did it with Back to the Future and
they
First
do it with
Blood.
a lot of weird shit.
They do it with opera and stuff like that. I mean, we wouldn't go see something like that, but
I think we should make Jake go see an opera.
Go see the opera. That'd be kind of funny.
The Nutcracker, aren't they doing the Nutcracker in a couple weeks?
Are they really?
I think we should send Jake.
So that weird stop motion one that was in the Holocaust or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that coming out. It was in 3D too. Holy fuck. It's like fucking 2D Schindler's List in 3D. Wow. I could have swore Ray Fiennes just took a shot at my head. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna shoot the shit a little more. Believe it or not, we actually do have some stuff to talk about.
We're gonna talk about the trailers.
Yeah, believe it or not, we actually fucking do. So we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. Let me make sure that. Yeah, it looks like the focus is fine.
Yeah. No. I don't think the smoke fucked it up. It was just
I can never tell because when I'm sitting.
The smoke's right there in front of us.
When I'm sitting this far away, sometimes with that screen, it's hard for me to tell if it's out of focus or not. So we walk into this, and we actually showed up
an hour
early because I went to the screening of Back to the Future when they re-released that, and it was packed. I mean, like. We had to sit, like, in the front fucking row. So I was like, all right, well, I don't want to sit in the front fucking row for Reservoir Dogs. I will if I have to, but I don't know when I'm going to see this movie in the theater again, so I want to get some.
We waited 20 years for this time.
Yeah, fuck. So yeah, when we're 50, we'll go see it again. So anyway, we show up an hour before that we go in. We're the only fucking ones in there, which is great. We got the best seats in the house.
Oh yeah, I'm dead center. I'm just so happy.
Like, we go play fucking Time Crisis 3. I guarantee you, man. We go to that fucking theater 20 years on into the fucking future. Time Crisis 3 is still gonna be there.
Time Crisis 3 we played Time Crisis 3 when we were waiting for Kill Bill Volume 1 to start.
Yeah.
That was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, wow, god damn.
That same game, the guns are all broken and shit.
They are fucking broken as shit. But, like, the sighting's not off or anything, at least
on
not
the blue one it is. You gotta point way to the right.
You gotta use the pink one. So, like, they showed before the... Well, eventually people did kind of walk in, and
for like a good half hour, it was just one chick behind us.
She was cool.
We just started talking to her. She's like, "It's my favorite movie," and I'm just like, "Yeah, me too."
She was cool. We were shooting the shit about Tarantino for a while, and eventually some more people walked
probably
in.
About 13, 14 people.
Yeah, I would say by the time. But it was showing like there was like trivia, like what pack of cigarettes did they smoke, and like
and it obviously came off that new Blu-ray.
Yeah,
set.
The artwork was the same.
But it was cool. It was a cool little fun trivia thing, like because it's not the one you see before every fucking movie.
No, it was all Tarantino stuff, and not just like easy stuff that like my dad would know.
No, just like
who played Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction.
No, it was what kind of cigarette does Mr. White offer Mr. Pink?
Yeah.
I even had to think about that. I was like, well, that was before Oh, it's a Chesterfield. You know, I had to think about it.
And, like, what did it say on the door when Mr. Blonde is walking in? It's like, what did it fucking say? It's like, oh, no parking. All right. See, you asked me this in the theater. Why didn't they park the cars in there?
Yeah.
They gotta follow the rules, dude. It says no parking on there.
Yeah.
They may be thieves. They're not assholes.
Okay, I've been watching that movie for 15 years, and I've never thought about this. They have this thing where they're like, we gotta leave you here. You watch these guys. We gotta go ditch these cars. Instead of just bringing them into the huge...
It says no parking, dude. They can't do it.
I think that's no blocking the door. Because there's already a car inside. He's sitting on top of it.
I actually forgot that he's sitting on top of a hearse.
Yeah.
Until we watched it again. I was like,
it's like that awesome avocado green 70s color. Oh, I love that thing.
That's another thing, too. I forgot to mention when we were talking, too, is that, like, Tarantino does such a good job with these characters that they're scum, but they've got good qualities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't look at Harvey Keitel.
You kind of love Mr. White.
Harvey Keitel. You look at Mr. White, who's a murderous bastard, but he seems to have, like, a heart, kind of, as long as you're not a cop, I guess. Like, he really takes care of Mr. Orange. Yeah. Like, he has, it's like, I don't know, it's sort of like, hey, even the serial killer has a dog, and he treats it right, you know, like, that kind of thing. Like, you know, he's really genuine, like, he's likable, he's a bastard, but, okay, he's got good qualities, he tells good stories, he's funny. So it shows, but while it's showing the trivia, it starts, Dave and I kind of joke about this, we're like, well, I guess I'm gonna show trailers from like 20 years ago or something. Like, it's gonna be like the crying game. Like, oh, that new movie. There's that new movie coming out, Go Now, with Robert Carlyle. That looks really good.
The girl behind us was just laughing.
Yeah, so, but they start showing like Tarantino trailers.
They literally showed all the trailers except for Inglourious Bastards, I think.
Yeah, they didn't show Bastards. They didn't show Bastards.
Or
and they
Death Proof.
Yeah, they didn't show Death Proof either.
But yeah, they start showing Tarantino trailers. And I'm like, are they going to show the Reservoir Dogs trailer?
They did.
And they fucking did.
They fucking did. Yeah.
It was great.
I love the Jackie Brown trailer, though.
They showed the Jackie Brown Christmas trailer. Yes.
Sid has got a brand new bag. That's awesome. That's fucking great.
It was great seeing those in a theater because I had seen all the Kill Bill trailers in the theater. And I think I remember seing the Jackie Brown trailer in the theater.
Yeah.
But I don't know for what it was playing with, but I remember, like, because we saw Jackie Brown in the theater.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what it would have been for.
But it's just like...
we saw the trailer.
But yeah,
I saw it
it's a really... Times. They're all really dated trailers, but that's what's great about them.
Yeah. Oh, I did love, too, the little thing that was talking about, like, no bootlegging.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Like, why are we bootlegging this, dude? Like, I love some guys downloading, like,
it's
a shitty
in the $5 bin. It's not worth the effort.
Are you sure this is worth it, dude? Who's gonna download this? Like, I love some guy, like, download some pothead fucking, like, downloading, like, a shitty cam version of Reservoir Dogs. Like, holy fuck, I gotta see this. This movie looks really good, dude. I hear that if I liked Kiss or Kill, I'd really like this. It was recommended to me by the guy who recommended Buffalo 66.
Oh, fuck that movie. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but fuck that movie. I saw it once. I'll never need to see it again.
I'm just going through my list of the indie flicks that you would find like in the cult section at Hollywood Video, back when they had that section, back when there was a Hollywood Video.
Oh, remember when we made the mistake years and years ago? I was like, Pulp Fiction was really great. We should watch Doom Generation.
Oh, God. That was a fucking asshole who recommended that to me. Fucking freshman year of high school. Some asshole. He's like, dude, you love Pulp Fiction, right? Watch this movie. Is it alike? Well, I don't know. It's got smoking and drugs and there's a similar haircut. Oh, it's so good, dude. Fucking broke his fucking nose, a fucking gothic bastard. It's shit. I think Rob was his name. Fuck that movie. Now I'm pissed.
Don't be pissed. We just saw Reservoir Dogs in the theater.
That's how shitty Doom Generation is. It can kill my Reservoir Dogs high. What was I thinking mentioning Reservoir Dogs in the Snob movie? Now I don't even like that movie. It mentions the Doom Generation. Kidding, buy our movie.
Please.
Even though it mentions the Doom Generation.
It does it in a derogatory sense.
It's good. It mentions it in a derogatory term.
It's actually mentioned really twice in the movie.
It was twice in the rough cut. In the final cut, where you overhear your character talking about, there's like music over it now.
Fuck Ryan.
I know, right? I like that. Okay, for those of you who have seen the Snob movie, when
God damn it, Ryan.
When Craig first
proud
goes,
of that.
Me too. That was really funny. When Craig goes to the Snob Club for the first time, it pans across and you see all the snobby film elites like standing there, and you overhear Dave's character mention something about Doom Generation. Like it's almost like Doom Generation. Like that.
Ryan's only direction was be talking to each other about shit, and he's just panning, and I just go blah blah blah. Well, you know the Doom Generation,
and that's where
poor Alex and Ed are standing right next to me, just like.
It was funny, but it's got music playing over it now.
God damn it, Ryan.
Yeah, that was a funny gag. That was a funny gag. That
was my bit of improv, and he fucked me.
I should have put that in the, I should have put that in, like, the deleted extended season. That's the one line. So, they do, there was also, like, a little, like, kind of retrospective piece they did. Where it was
Lawrence
talking to
Bender
Lawrence
came
Bender.
out, and
it was talking
the
about
RZA.
Oh, the first two people it talks to are RZA and Eli Roth. So it's kind of like, hey, look how Reservoir Dogs inspired these two shitty filmmakers.
You know what? The thing about RZA though is, okay, his new movie, I didn't fucking see it, but he did a great job doing the music for the Kill Bill movies.
Sure, the music in Kill Bill was good. I'm talking about him as a filmmaker.
You're not a fucking hip-hop dude, but... He's fucking talented.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying...
But that new movie, yeah, okay, fine, he sucks. And fucking... Oh, Eli Roth.
Yeah, Eli Roth talking about it. It influenced me, man. Like, okay, then why aren't you good?
Well, and we were having this conversation earlier on the way to the movie. I watched Inglourious Basterds last night because I was just like, I'm kind of interested in like being able to have that fresh in my mind. And I'm watching all the bonus features, and on the Blu-ray they have in Inglourious Basterds, the movie inside a movie, the Pride of the Nation. They have Nation's Pride. They have the entire movie. And it's directed by Eli Roth, and it's really fucking good. It's really fucking good. Like, the camera angles, and it's beautifully shot, and I'm just like, motherfucker.
So as long as he sticks to Nazi propaganda, the guy's great.
No, it's just, it's actually so good. And I'm just sitting there going, well, why can't he make a good movie that goes to theaters?
Yeah.
Why's it gotta be a DVD or Blu-ray bonus feature? Motherfucker.
Or the I like.
And I'm growing used to him as an actor too. I kind of like him as an actor.
I do like him as an actor. I do like him as an actor. And with RZA, I've only I think The Man with the Iron Fist, is that the only movie he's directed? Yeah, that was shit. But that's the kind of like, I think it was half shit on purpose. No, but it wasn't good shit.
I know what you mean.
It wasn't. Russell Crowe. If you catch that movie on fucking like TV or something like that, it's kind of worth watching to check out Russell Crowe. But I can tell you right now, it was a hell of a lot fucking better than anything I've seen Eli Roth do. But I liked Lawrence Bender's story where he's talking about when they showed it at Sundance and the people, Reservoir Dogs, and the people like giving him shit because it was so violent. He's like, what did you fucking expect? You saw the poster, you read what the fucking movie's about. What did you go into this thinking? So it reminded me of like, did you ever read that review? There was some French dude who who described himself as like an author and poet who reviewed Cheap and trashed it for being cheap. He wants to be like Scorsese, but he's so not Scorsese.
Okay, I remember.
Look for it.
I remember every minute of filming Cheap. We never tried to do anything Scorsese like.
No, dude.
That movie at the end, it was just like, let's just fucking finish this. So we've been making this movie for 9 months. I want to get a haircut.
Yeah, I think 9 months. We were only halfway through. So if you ever, I have no idea if it's still online, but it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever read in my life.
I will look for it. I will.
You gotta fucking look for it.
Because I do love reading reviews of our movies.
Me too.
For the most part, they crack me the fuck up. Even the good ones. I'm just like, really, man? You're reading way too much into this.
I think a lot of the reviews, as far as I really like. I don't know what. I think that one's probably the one that cracked me up the most, though. That was by far and away the funniest.
I will say one of my favorites is like the third review on the IMDb page for the Cinema Snob movie. The guy's like, so this is the movie that beats Shawshank Redemption on the ratings.
That was funny. Like, he was pissed off about that. Like, I like there's another guy too who was like, he reviewed The Snob, but he liked the show, but gave it a low rating because he said I'm an asshole. Yeah, the show's really funny, but that Brad's a dick. 1 star. That was pretty good. That was good. That made me laugh. I like that. So they showed that, and then it pretty much went into the movie. I mean, it was cool seeing.
It showed that little thing, and then they showed 3 trailers that Tarantino picked.
Oh, yeah, like, yeah, they were all Keitel flicks.
Which I thought was cool, but they were, like, Tarantino, obviously, anybody who's familiar with the man knows he's a movie nut, and he has a giant film collection. Yeah, apparently, he just went down and, like, picked out 3 trailers that he loved for movies and threw them up, and I was just like, that's really kind of cool.
Mean Streets, I
threw up the Mean Streets trailer, I had never seen that trailer. That trailer's fuking hilarious.
4 honest men and Johnny. That was awesome. Dude, after this, I gotta go home and watch Mean Streets again. I gotta pull out my big box of it.
What was the second trailer?
That was Mother Jugs and Speed, my brother. Break one. 20th Century Fox has got a new movie coming out. Mother Jugs and Speed. Over.
Like, what? Mother Jugs and Speed.
Bill Cosby, Raquel Welch, Harvey Keitel, ambulances. Color Me sold it.
I love that Bill Cosby's name in the movie is Mother.
I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't either, but now I want to.
It's Bringing Out the Dead crossed with Uptown Saturday Night.
And then they show
The Duelist.
And then they tried to show the Duelist, which I love the Duelist.
It's a great fucking movie.
That's Ridley Scott's first movie, right? The Duelist?
His first, 77.
I think that's his first movie.
I don't know. And
I know it was a made-for-TV movie. And I know it's rated G.
About that. Rated G.
It is. It's rated G.
That and Boggy Creek.
It's violent as hell, and it's rated G.
movies ever.
But no, The Duelist, if you've never seen it, it's one of Harvey Keitel's best movies. Honestly.
It's
one of his best performances, and he's really young in it, but he does not seem it.
It would have been great if there was a guy in the back of the audience who's like, "When are they going to show the trailer for the January Man?"
Is that movie something Graceland where he's Elvis?
Oh, yeah.
With like Mira Sorvino and shit.
Fucking forgot about that. I saw that movie. Jonathan Skaich, or however you pronounce his name. Yeah. I did watch that.
Keitel does
Finding Graceland or something like that.
Keitel does some weird-ass fucking movies sometimes. So it's just like, really? Harvey Keitel's in this? I'll watch it. And
What's the monkey one he was in? Monkey Trouble? Monkey Business? Was that the
Brendan Fraser one? No. That's
the girl from American Beauty. Like
yeah.
Remember that fucking movie?
It takes place in a hotel, the Thora Birch one, right?
The one with Thora Birch.
When she's younger.
Yeah.
It takes place in a hotel, and he's like a.
That's also in a hotel, or
that takes place in a hotel.
So that and Dunstan Checks In are the two double feature monkey movies in a hotel.
But the one with Harvey Keitel and Thora Birch, I think it's a smaller monkey because Dunstan's an orangutan.
Yeah. I think Roger Ebert gave one of those movies a thumbs up, which means he liked it better than Reservoir Dogs.
All right. I love Roger Ebert. I really do.
Too.
But I really think the best.
I respect the hell out of the
my
man.
favorite review of Roger Ebert that I've ever fucking read was, I read it yesterday at Steak and Shake.
What?
When you go through the drive-thru at Steak and Shake right now, they have fake movie posters featuring sandwiches and shakes on the walls.
Okay.
And at the bottom of each poster is a real quote from Roger Ebert.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And the quote on one of them is, "If I could take the president and his family to dinner anywhere, I'd take them to Steak and Shake, and they would be delighted." Roger Ebert. I'm just like,
well... Steak and Shake is delicious. I had the 3D burger the other day. It was fantastic.
I had a chili 5-way the other day.
Oh man.
It was so greasy and made me so nauseous afterwards, but worth every fucking second.
Like good stomach ache, or like when we went to Denny's the other day. Dave and I go to Denny's at like 3 in the fucking morning.
That was a mistake.
That used to be the good Denny's. Not anymore. Now they're both fucking...
Now they're both bad Denny's.
Well... I think that's about it on reminiscing about Reservoir Dogs and food and mother jugs and speed. So
it sounds like a movie we would put Jake in.
Mother Jugs and Speed?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Jake would be great in that. So
they don't call me Speed for nothing.
We're actually gonna do this again here in a couple of days for Pulp Fiction, and if these videos go over well, you like seeing us just kind of shooting the shit
about things that we've seen, and
things that you've seen that are 20 years old, but you like just seeing us shoot the shit about movies and the tangents that we go on. There's another cool one that comes to Springfield. We'll go see that one too.
Hell, I mean, I dedicate. If you want to hear just me and Brad talk about movies that we fucking like, just let us know. We'll fucking do more of these even without theater shit.
Yeah, exactly.
We could do like an 8-hour video on American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, we could. Every fucking weekend back in high school, it was Reservoir Dogs, Werewolf in London, sometimes Screwballs. It was a lot of Pulp Fiction.
Werewolf in London was always the one that we watched last when everybody else passed out, and it was just you and me.
Yeah, Werewolf in London was the one we would put in at like 4 in the morning, back when like the chili dip started kind of crusting.
We'll tell you a chili dip story next time.
Alright, we'll see you later.
Bye, kids.
Shit!
You locked in.
No, that door doesn't work.